Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do Theme Thursday, and this week's theme is all bundled up or handmade. So I've got a bit of both. I can do both themes this week. I keep forgetting to go to the right hand side now because it's worked out so much better, but I'm so used to standing on the left hand side because Tegan always stood on the right that I always do it wrong, and then I start filming and then I think I'm on the wrong side. So I've got Tristan to start with today. I thought I'd bring him on first, my little man. Still my all-time favourite. I love this little man. And he's all bundled up in his blanket. I'm going to do three boys first, or the three little boys first. So I'll probably bundle them all up in blankets as well, because it's just cute, isn't it? Why not when you've got the opportunity? So if we unbundle him, he's wearing his, just check what you can see. I could actually go over a little bit. There you go. He's wearing a handmade hat. I made for him like a little pixie hat. Oops, now you can't see. With the little bit on top. And that's in nice autumn colours. And he does have booties to match, but I couldn't find the top I wanted to put on him this morning with tracksuit bottoms, so I didn't put the booties on. In the end, I went for an autumny sort of coloured baby grow instead. And he's got his little trusty elephant comforter as always with his name on there, Tristan Michael. There you go. And he just looks gorgeous. This sleep suit is from Next. I love this. It's got it's like nice autumn colours. I do like grey on babies, and it's got all sorts of like koala bear, lion, like a tiger cat. It's not like a tiger, it's like a little pussy cat, but tiger colours. There's another little pussy cat up there, and it's got a frog. What's the blue one? I can't see. I can see it. Oh, it's a monkey, a little monkey. There's all sorts on there. That's a crocodile or a dinosaur or something, all sorts on there. That's another kind of little bear thing. They're really lovely. I like him in all sorts of colours. I swing between the old-fashioned lots of white and baby blue and pastel colours and that kind of thing. I love him dressed like that. And then I'll go the other way then and dress him in colours like this or even darker. That's like my personality is like with dogs. I either like little tiny ones like tiny chihuahuas and tiny Yorkies, that kind of thing. There's no middle ground. I couldn't live with something like, say, a Labrador sized dog or a Spaniel sized dog. Though they are lovely. I love all dogs. I love dogs better than people sometimes. Well, quite often. But then, you know, my other range would be when I was young, I couldn't handle one now. But when I was young, I always wanted a Harlequin Great Dane. So I'm like in between, you know, there's no middle ground. It's always one or the other with me. So I'll go from like the same with things. It's like with even how I dress, I can go from being really girly and pink and sparkly things and that kind of thing. And you know, childish almost in things I like, and then the next minute I'll be quite grungy and you know, walk around in something that's more, I don't know, the only description I could describe is more rock chick than than anything else. You know, it's like I just got like these two sides, and I'm not even a Gemini. You know, I'm an Aquarius, so I don't know, but they do say Aquarius gets more eccentric as they get older. I don't actually think we get more eccentric. I think what it is we get more comfortable in our own skin and more ourselves as we get older. So because you know, it's just how we are. So there's Tristan looking absolutely adorable. I've been really good today. I've actually written things down. I wanted to give a couple of shout outs, so I'll do it now before I forget. I've got Hello Dolly, Suzanne from Hello Dolly. I wanted to give a shout out to you, Suzanne. She's got a new baby that she's opened recently, and she's just a lovely lady. Just pop along and see. There's so many channels on here that get swamped by the bigger channels, and a lot of them, you know, there's lovely people on here worthwhile videos, lovely collections, lovely things to talk about, interesting things to talk about, and they get lost in the melee of all these big channels that all just talk about the same thing and go round and round, you know, and then a lot of these little channels get left to the side, and it's such a shame. But so I love it when someone points me in the direction of a smaller channel that I can subscribe to, and I really enjoy. So Suzanne from Hello Dolly, absolutely lovely lady. Pop along and do a catch up on her videos, subscribe. And then Sylvia, Sylvia is lovely. This is a new channel for me. She's got 2 channels, so I'm really happy about this. She's got her Dolly channel, which is the Love for Dollies and Me Time, and each word is started with a capital letter. If you type in on YouTube, as I did to find the link quicker, if you don't put the capital letters, it doesn't come up. It's just rubbish, isn't it? Because it should come up whatever. But put the capital letter for each word, and then she should come up then. She's lovely. And she also has a craft channel, which is called Happy Me on a Budget. And again, each first letter and the A is a capital. That is really well worth having a look. I'm going to be doing catch up on both of those over the next week whenever I got time. And actually, I wanted to say a big thank you to Sylvia, because I saw she got a craft channel. Well, she said she had a craft channel. I popped on and had a look, and I was so inspired by her new craft room that she sorted out. It's wonderful. I love it. If I ever get the back room completely to myself, then I've got some really good ideas. But it also brought up something interesting. Now, when I first started coming on YouTube, if you look back to the bottom, to the bottom of all my videos, the first videos I did, they were to show my craft things, like I've said before, to if anyone was interested, that was fine, but it was more for friends and for me. If friends and family wanted to see what I'd be making, or I can show them things, or else or inspire them, because we all craft in the family. All my girls craft, and my grandchildren and everything. And even my son is really good at things like websites and all that kind of thing. Good with anything practical. And when I first started, I was tempted to do a craft channel first, and then I thought, well, I want to do the reborns as well if I do start making videos properly. And I really love the reborns, and that was my, they are always my happy place, as well as my crafting. And so I didn't do a craft channel, I did more reborn channel, and I thought that's fine, because I can always upload the odd craft video, and then if anyone doesn't want to look at that because they're only into dolls, that's fine by me. I'm not gonna want you to watch anything you're not into or you don't enjoy. But I'm really inspired. I never thought of having 2 channels. So I'm thinking now, I don't know if I could keep up with 2, but I'm thinking now of making a second channel that's got all my craft stuff on there. And even if I don't post all the time on there, it would be somewhere where I could store videos for my own pleasure, even with all my craft things on there. And that'd be really nice, wouldn't it, I thought. So I might do that. So thank you for that, Sylvia, because you've made me think about that, think it through again and think about it. And I'm going to have a look and do that over the next few days, see if I can sort it out on YouTube. So back to today's thing. I'm going to go off now and put my piece of paper down. I thought I was so good writing that down today, because I didn't do it for my video I did just now about my Christmas folio I made. And I'm going to go and get the next 2 babies. So I was trying to think which one should I do next, and I thought I don't really know, but I'll probably bring Peanut in next, little Owen Roy, and put him on, and then it'll be Reuben. Oh, just look at him. Doesn't he look so gorgeous laying there? This is Owen Roy, that I love to call Peanut. I call him Peanut because he looks like he's got a little peanut face. And then afterwards I think, oh no, he's got a proper name. I should say his proper name, which is Owen Roy. He just looks gorgeous. He's all bundled up. He's got the little coat on that was my son's he had on the other day. And a plain white sleep suit from George Asda. And little blue scratch mittens from Asda as well. And a little hat that I made him with the little, like a pixie bit on the top. I love those. I'm starting to do hats because I want to get back into hand knitting again. So at the moment I've got as far as hats and booties, but it does make my shoulders ache because I've got so much arthritis all over the place. I've just been told it is definitely in my fingers and feet as well now. I thought it was for a while, but when they actually tell you, it's still oh, isn't it feeling? Because it's definite then, you're not wrong, are you? And it's not good for a crafter, is it, to have arthritis in their fingers? So I wasn't very pleased about that. It's another knock, isn't it? Because it goes along with, I've got it all down my spine, in my hips and knees as well. And then I have trouble with my neck as well. So it's basically nearly everywhere. So, it's just adding to the list, isn't it? So I just need oiling. I just need oiling everywhere. Yeah, so he looks adorable. He's got this little knitted hat on. I'm hoping to build up and start doing little cardies and different things like I used to. I used to knit for my shop when I had a shop on eBay, and I used to knit every evening while I watched telly. And I do sort of, I used to work out like 1.5 maternity sets a week. So over 2 weeks, I'd get enough wool in and I'd knit 2 maternity sets. With the booties, the bonnet or hat, and a maternity jacket. And then I used to put them on my shop, and I used to be quite happy with that. And now I'm like, I start knitting a little hat, which I would have knitted over a morning, sewn up, put on the baby a few years ago. And now it's like stop halfway because your fingers and shoulders are tired, and then carry on again. But the OT assured me it is good exercise, so I'm going to really work on carrying on. I've been doing... started making crochet blankets again and getting all back into it. I found that the crochet is actually easier on the hands than the knitting, so I've done more of that. I've been making a lovely, I might show you actually because it's just on the bed. I'm making a lovely blanket at the moment. I'm just about out of wool for it. Let's see if I can get this on camera. I'm making a corner to corner blanket. And I've just done up to halfway, and I'm just starting the reducing side now because you make it on the diagonal. So you make it, just in case you don't know, going across that way. So you start at the corner, all the way down there. That's why it's a corner to corner blanket. And then you gradually build up and up and up. Each row gets a square wider each end. And then when you get it to the width you want, excuse me, I'm just rubbing my nose, an itch. Then you just decrease sort of a square on the end each row until you go back up to a point again. So that's why it's a corner to corner, and it's lovely for sorry, mate. It's lovely for stripes and mixed colours like this, because this is like self-striping. It's a random colour. It's James C. Brett Baby Marble, and I think there's 2 or 3. I usually get everything from Hobbycraft around, because that's the best place for wool and stuff near me, and I get everything from there. So most of my paper crafts are either Amazon and Hobbycraft, or I get my fabric online mostly, and I get my from eBay, and I get my I can't think of the words, my wool and things like that from Hobbycraft as well. So if you're into that kind of thing, and you ever see anything I've got on any of the babies or whatever, like this little hat and the ones that Tristan had on, I got the wool from Hobbycraft, and the one that Ruben's got on is Hobbycraft. So if you see anything and you're into that kind of thing and you're wondering where I got it from, it's all Hobbycraft. But he looks really adorable, doesn't he? So he covers both again like Tristan did. He's all bundled up. Look at that. Like, how can you not want to pick him up? I want to pick him up all the time. It's a toss-up now between him and Tristan, because I was always wanting to pick Tristan up, and now I always want to pick him up as well. So he's like my little peanut, and then Tristan is my little bouncy boy because he's bigger. So I'm just going to move him out the way. I'm going to swap him over with Ruben. So I hope I've not got too quiet. There we go. And then here he comes. Oh, let's see what you can see. Right, just turn around a bit, move that out of the way. Let's turn around. So he's all bundled too, and there he is. It's a shame to wake him up, isn't it? Each baby's got their own blanket, and this one's getting a bit old now because I've had him for 2 years. He was Alice May to start. He's got Tristan's hat on, so it's a bit big. And this blanket's getting a bit old now. This side is okay, but the other side is jersey. And as you wash it every now and again, it's sort of, the jersey side is going out of shape. But it's lovely Winnie the Pooh, isn't it? And it makes a nice plain backdrop as well for him. Oh, I don't know what that is on there. It won't come off, wherever it is. So he's wearing a striped t-shirt from H&M, tracksuit bottoms from Next, and then this is like a cotton double knit, and it's getting a bit fluffy now because Tristan wears it a lot, and he's got the little bit on the top as well. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. But he's wearing that today for the handmade, and then he's got the little booties as well. And there goes that wretched motorbike that makes a racket all the time. It's probably a really nice bike. I like motorbikes, never been on one, but when we get the bikes go up and down the summer, I love that noise. And just down from us is a train station, and they have a motorbike club every Tuesday night, and it's wonderful listening to bikes go up and down and seeing the cool bikes going back and forth. So there's oh, look at him. There's Ruben, looking absolutely adorable. Look at that little face. Isn't he just beautiful? Look. I can't resist any of the little boys. It's amazing. I used to always have all girls, and then I'd have a token boy. So I'd have, say, one little boy like Ruben is now, and then I'd have 2 or 3 girls, and that would be my collection. And now all of a sudden I've got the biggest collection I've ever had. I've got 12 now, 12 babies, and I've got one more that I've put a deposit on the kit of, and as soon as that comes out I'll have that one. It's another Cassie Brace one, and the name escapes me, as so often does, but Joy from PE and the Divinals sent me some sends me gorgeous pictures of new kits and babies she's done, and I was really inspired to get this one. I want to get the oh, what's it called? Lulu is Lulu, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong, Joy, if you see the video, by Joanne Kazmierzak. It's like I put all the babies out on the bed in the spare room, the single bed that the kids use if they sleep over. And also when I have them over after school, they lounge on there and watch Masha and the Bear and all this sort of thing. And you know, the bed is still useful, even though Tegan is getting older now, and she's not homeschooled anymore, so she hasn't got the time to stay like she used to. I would miss it if I didn't use it, but the bed is getting fuller and fuller of babies, because all the babies are on there. Tristan's in the living room in his rocker napper. Narnia sits on their chair, and then in here I've got Grace in my Silver Cross dolls pram, and Scarlett sleeps in my granddaughter's crib that I don't know if she'll have it back now after it rocked on its own the other day, but at the moment it's still left there, and Scarlett sleeps in it. And then the other babies all sit on the bed in the back bedroom. So I just, how many more can I fit in? And be able to sort of sit on the edge of the bed myself when I want to take a break from crafting, because crafting is the other side of the room. I might have to have a juggle around after Christmas and see how to fit everything in a bit better. But I just like them to all to have like their own things, like their own drawer with their clothes in. Well, now that's gone out the window because the little girls all share a drawer now. Grace's clothes are put in a box, so that they're, no, actually not a box, a telefib, one of those little cardboard suitcases. It's got unicorns all over it. It's quite a biggish one that I got from Card Factory. It was only $3.99, and she's got all her little clothes in there to free up the drawer properly for Narnia, because they were sharing before. A load of stuff has gone out down the charity shop, because I always give the things to charity that I don't need. You know, there's times in the past when I've gone to charity shops to buy clothes for my children, you know, real children, when I was a single parent and that kind of thing. And I would rather think that some child would get the benefit of these things than just sell them for a few bob on eBay, and they'll go for like £1 or £1.50, and then by the time you pay fees and all the rest of it, and they got all the hassle of posting, it's not worth it. But besides that, I really would rather pass it on. I like to pass things on. I think it's good karma. You know, if you have good luck, share a bit of it around. So that's me off on my soapbox again. So yeah, he's looking absolutely adorable. So next up now, I've just realised little Grace has got a handmade hat on, so I might bring her on next quickly, and then I'm going to change some of the girls into dresses that I've made for them and bring them on. So I shall be back shortly. There she is. The pink and blue looks nice together, doesn't it? She's wearing a little tiny plain white version of the, oh, that's a dog making a noise about something, of the little hats. This is in white, oh well, obviously it's in white, but it's white double knit, but it's like a cotton effect yarn. It's really lovely. It's nice and soft. It's lovely for babies. And that's from Hobbycraft, as always. And I just knitted that up quickly for her because she really needed a white hat to go with her different things. And then she's all bundled up. She's got her little bunny rabbit comforter that I got from H&M a few years ago for Reuben when he was Alice May. And then she's still got this little sleep suit on that I got from Tesco's, which was £5. And I just love this on her. She's going to be wearing this an awful lot. I really like this on her. I think in future I'm just going to look out for less things, like I was saying before, but look for things like for her in a similar vein to this. I'd rather have 3 or 4 outfits that I just adore on her than have a drawer full of clothes that I'm not really bothered about that much. So there she is, sweet as ever, little tiny Grace, all 17 inches of her. I wonder sometimes if she is actually even 17 inches. I've never measured her, but as far as I remember, the Romilly kit is 17 inches, and she doesn't have the original body on there because I liked a slightly bigger one. So maybe she is 17 inches, but she's a delicate 17 inches. She's lovely, she is. She's so tiny when you pick her up, like a little tiny little bundle just in your arm. Reminds me of my eldest son when he was born, because he was only £5.10, and he was a small £5.10. There was a little girl on the same ward and she was £4.10, and yet they both looked the same size. He was so delicate, bless him. And he's not very tall or anything now. You know, just a smaller frame. My eldest daughter's the same. They're just both a smaller frame. I think they get it off their great granddad because he was a smaller frame. Right, so there's Grace, and I shall have to go and charge my phone and then carry on with my video. Just look at Scarlett. Doesn't she look adorable? Oh, bless her, all bundled up. She's got a little, that's Lexi, you can hear wandering around. I've put her bell back on her collar so that I can tell where she is when she starts snooping around. This coat is gorgeous. It is so soft. It's hard to describe the colour. It's one of my favourite colours. It's like a vintage pink, I always call it. Like a powdery pink colour. It's absolutely lovely. And I got this from Next. It's even got tiny pockets, look. Look at that. I got this from Next on their clearance about 18 months or so ago. In fact, it'd be more like 2 years ago. It was for Reuben when he was Alice May, in case I ever took him out. When he was a girl, of course. And it's got the most gorgeous rabbit ears. See if you can see that. Yeah, you can see, can't you? Gorgeous ears. And then she's wearing a handmade bonnet. That's lovely wool, that is. And then she's got a little handmade toy that I didn't make. This is from one of those tables that do the charity for the children at the hospital. So I bought that on there. It's usually in the pram with Grace, but I forgot it when I got Grace out. And then underneath she's got a little pink floral baby grow from Next. And her little teddy bear with his hat on, comforter with her name on. Determined to work around all the babies gradually over the next few months and get them all one with their name on each. It's lovely for photographs and things, isn't it? really nice. Where do you get these odd little bits come from? You know, they're kept away from the kids, they're kept away from everything, and yet you still get these odd little bits, don't you? Just appears randomly. So there's Scarlet. Now that really is bundled up, isn't it? So now it's Abby's turn. I don't think I'm quite straight. I'll just straighten that slightly. There you go, that's better, is it? I think so. And she's wearing a little headband I've had for a long time from eBay. And then a sort of bolero type cardigan that I got from Georgia Asda. They have them in on and off. They're £4, and they're lovely with dresses because they've got this shaper on the front and the scallop and everything, and they're lightweight. So I always look at things like practically if they're good for the grandchildren that as well, or if a real child would look nice in it, because we've all got a mix, haven't we? We've got our own babies, but we've got children and mostly grandchildren as well, haven't we? And then she's wearing a lovely pale, it's more peachy, sort of apricot-y peachy dress, very pale, with ivory polka dots, and let's see if I can pan down a little bit. Embroidery anglaise trim around the edge. I love that. It gives it like a sort of peasant effect, doesn't it? It's lovely. And I've left the skirt quite long on this so that when she sits anywhere, she's got this lovely, you know, big skirt on it. And then, you know, sits all around her. And then ivory tights that came with an outfit a while ago too. It's surprising when you go through your stash how long you've had some of these things, isn't it? But I did get rid of a whole black bag full of the Reborn's clothes recently, all gone to charity. So no, that wasn't straight, was it? It doesn't look straight from this side now. Let me just, God, I've been making you all sick, won't I? So there you go, and she looks really sweet. And next up is Madison. And so here we have Madison Jade, and she doesn't have a cardie to match this dress, or she's actually only got one cardigan. I did try putting a long sleeve t-shirt underneath, but it just looks silly, so I've taken it off. So hopefully she's not cold. And she's wearing a ivory background dress with black roses and leaves all over it. It's really lovely fabric. And then I contrasted it with a black and white gingham bow and black and white gingham around the hem. And then underneath she's wearing white leggings that would either be from Georgia Asda or off eBay. 3/4 white leggings. This is what I want to get for Narnia. She's got a full length pair at the moment, but I just want the 3/4 or the cropped ones so that they cover their cloth body, which goes to their knees when they're wearing dresses. But you know, you don't get it all the way down, because it's nice to see some of the leg. It just looks better, I think. And then little socks, lacy ankle socks that I got from Georgia Asda. As I always say, the pack of 5, I think it was for £3. So she looks really sweet, doesn't she? And she's got a black headband on, and she's probably glad to get an airing because it's been mostly the little ones lately, so she's probably glad to get a change. But yeah, I started to tell you about Evie, my little granddaughter. I picked her up from, she's 4 by the way, just in case you didn't know. And I picked her up from school on Monday, and she just didn't look right as she was coming up to the door. And I said, "You okay, sweetheart? Have you had a good day?" And she shook her little head and she looked sad, and she said, "No," she said. And I said, "Oh, why?" And she said, "Oh, because of my chest." And then she was really coughing. She sounded really heavy chested, and she was warm, pink cheeked, and you know that sort of look they get about their eyes, like a sort of tired look that they get when they're not very well. So then she got dropped off early to her dad because we only had them for a little while, and all the time she was in the car coming home she just slept. And I got them an advent calendar, and she was actually asleep in the car, but she didn't let go of her advent calendar. She's holding it with 2 hands and fast asleep, absolutely zonked out, head back, mouth open, you know, properly really asleep. And I thought, oh bless, there's something wrong with that child. She's not right. She's coming down with something. And she sounded just like she had that virus that I had, where it's very on your chest and you can't breathe properly and you just feel really, really rough with it. It's one of those. So then took her back home, and I said to my daughter-in-law, you know, she's really, really not well. I don't know why the school didn't phone one of us to come and pick her up. So she said, okay. So then yesterday, we would have picked them up after school, and then my son messaged me in the morning and he said, would you be okay to, because I said if Evie's still not very well in the morning, I'll have her because they can't take any more time off work. And I said, you know, drop her over mine if you can in the morning and I'll have her and then get Michael from school later. So that was that. And then in the morning, my son Tom messaged and I thought, oh, he's going to say, you know, that she's going to the doctors or something like that or whatever. And he said, they spent up until gone 2 a.m. in A&E with Evie the night before because her oxygen had dropped and she was struggling to breathe. She wasn't doing very well and she doesn't have asthma or anything like that. So they were borderline whether to keep her in, and her oxygen levels dropped. Then they went back up again, then they went down, and then they went back up, and they seemed to stay up for a while. So they said that they'd send her home, but with caution and with the advisory that first sign of any problems, like she's getting breathy, or that part of the bottom of your throat, that goes in and out. Like if you've got asthma, when you breathe, trying to struggle to breathe, that goes in, and she was doing that apparently last night, trying to breathe. The Monday night trying to breathe. So my son had phoned and said, they're all shattered. Him and my daughter-in-law needed to go to work, but Michael has been with them at A&E as well, and he's only 7. So he was saying, could you have the 2 kids all day? So I said, yeah, fine. So Evie was poorly all day and Michael was just hyperactive. He just wanted to play. He was so excited to have the day at Nanny's and Grandad's and not go to school that he wanted to play soldiers and all different things all day. And poor Evie was like, just lazing around and coughing, and she was getting breathy by the afternoon. So I didn't wait for my son to pick her up about 6:30. I took her back when her mum finished work about 4 o'clock or whatever, 4:30, and so they could keep an eye on her, and they're near the hospitals and things. So just in case she did need to go back, they got her with them. And I think my daughter-in-law was relieved as well to have her with her rather than waiting for her to be brought back. But apparently they slept both the kids were, when my son got home from work a couple of hours later, Emily, because she starts work 6:30 in the morning, Emily and the 2 kids were all on their bed, all curled up in blankets and all fast asleep. And the kids slept for hours, but then they had him up in the night then. Evie not feeling very well, and Michael wanting to play soldiers and Lego and things with Dad for a couple of hours before they went back to sleep. So Michael's gone to school today and Evie's still home, bless her. But I've never seen anything like it. Not only has she got a really heavy chest, for a cough, it's like not clearing or anything, it's just sat there. And she's not very well, but she's ghostly pale, and all around her eyes she got 2 big purpley pink circles, around her eyes, like you get dark under your eyes sometimes. But I've never seen a child look like it. She looked like as if she'd been made up for Halloween or something, like a ghosty face, deathly pale, sniffing and coughing and really not very well, really lethargic and not very well, and just wanting to follow Nanny everywhere. Walked around for most of the day. If I did need to go anywhere to do anything, I was holding her hand, so that's what she wanted. She just wanted to be with Nanny all the time. And in the afternoon then she laid on the bed in the spare room, and I read her that story about the aliens love underpants, and they come down to pinch your underpants, and because they don't get them in space and all that kind of thing. And I must have read that about 3 times. She loved that. And Michael was playing with Lego and was playing that with him. So it was a nice day, but he was a little bit mischievous yesterday because he was getting a bit bored, and he doesn't like to be shut in all day. He's only 7. They want to be out, don't they, and running around. And of course, Evie wasn't very well, but Michael was caught up on his energy. But so I'm really hoping that she'll be fine now. But she looked really rough yesterday. I'd never seen a child look like that. She was so pale. That's what I can't get over. And around, around her eyes was quite like a purpley pink colour, like 2 circles around her eyes, and she just didn't look right at all. One of her eyes is slightly bloodshot too, so I'm assuming that's from pressure or from you know, lack of oxygen or something like that. I don't know what it is, but she's really not been well. So they've given her an asthma pump, you know, the reliever pump, the Ventolin, and they've given her a steroid pump and the spacer so she can breathe it in. And they're just going to do that for now and see how she goes for a couple of days, and then just ibuprofen and that kind of thing, and you know, just keep an eye on her. But I felt quite concerned when I saw the colour of her yesterday. You know, I've never seen that before, and I've got 5 children, and 2 of them have got asthma. So I've seen them, you know, with asthma attacks and not being very well and that kind of thing. But I was quite shocked when I saw Evie yesterday, bless her. So hopefully, fingers crossed, you know, I messaged this morning, asked how she is, and Tom said, you know, she seems okay, just poorly, but you know, she does seem okay still. She should be, so I'm thinking good. Hopefully in a few more days she'll start to be on the mend, but we shall see. I shall let you know if anything happens to her, but because she's only 4, bless her, and it's not very nice, is it? She's got you know, enough going on with her. She's got really severe hypermobility, so she's got enough going on with that without being knocked back with this. So bless her. So hopefully she'll be fine, and everything will be okay. But you know, if you do pray, or if you do want to send positive energy, I'd really appreciate it for her, because I am, you know, a little bit concerned about her, because I mean, she'd probably be fine. Kids bounce back, you know what they're like. We do all the worrying and then they're fine after a few days, but I've never seen a child looking like that before. So I you know, it's just not sitting right with me, and I was a bit upset that the school didn't phone and say that she wasn't very well and could someone come and get her, because the poor thing had been there from 9 o'clock in the morning till 3:30, gradually feeling worse and worse through the day, and then not being able to say, you know, because she's only 4, that she's not very well, and somebody take any notice. It just reminds you how vulnerable they are, and they start them at school at 4, isn't it? You know, she's only 4 in June, and she started school September, and she's a young 4. She's more like a 3-year-old in a lot of ways, and she's such a, you know, a sweet little thing, little girly girl. But you know, she's done nothing but cry and be upset, you know, when she first started for weeks and that kind of thing. She's finding it really tough, so I really felt sorry for her yesterday. I'm hoping now that she'll pick up soon, and she'll be fine. Oh God, I hope you can't hear me scratching. I just got an itch on my side and started scratching, and I thought, you watch, the camera will pick it up now. So there we are. I was going to change now Narnia as well, but I'll leave it for now, because it's been exhausting doing all these babies, and these bigger ones are quite hefty to chunk around. So I'll leave that there for now and get this uploaded and get it on up so you can look at it, and it'll be plenty long enough by the time it's finished. So bye for now, everyone. Take care, look after yourselves. Bye.